Hi, and welcome to my channel, Synergistic Singing. In my last video, we talked about the 4 singing in tune tests that you'd want to take in order to figure out whether or not this is a skill that you need to learn. Here's the thing though, when you make recordings of yourself, it can be somewhat of a shock or a big shock, and you want to have a good idea of why that might be the case and then what to do about it. It's completely normal to be shocked by the sound of your own voice. In fact, I've had great singers in my studio that hear a recording of themselves and have a complete meltdown even though they sound great. There's nothing that they should have a problem with, really. So it's completely normal. And one of the most popular answers to why you might be shocked when you hear a recording of yourself is because when we are speaking or singing, we really hear 2 voices. Or 2 versions of our voice. So we hear the sound that comes out of our mouth into the air, and then that registers into our ear. And then we hear the sound of our vocal folds that are going through bone conduction to our ears. And if you close off your ears, you're going to hear all this extra sound that no one else can hear. So if you go your whole life hearing these 2 sounds always together, and then you hear a recording and it's totally different, that can be naturally something that's shocking. When television came around, it replaced some of the other fun activities that families would do together. And one of those activities was standing or sitting around the piano and singing. And that was a really popular thing to do for fun. So as a result, singing was something that you did with friends, and you heard all kinds of beginning singers. And that's really changed because now the main types of singers that we hear are singers that have dedicated their whole life to singing. So that means you're hearing most of them would have been singing for 10 years or more. So you're going to naturally have a bunch of expectations when you hear someone else sing or when you hear yourself sing that have been probably influenced to some degree by mostly only hearing professional singers. So cut yourself a break when you hear your recordings and be aware that you're going to be a bit biased in this way, and this is because this is somewhat how we were trained. Now, what do you do about this? What do you do about this shock? Well, the shock itself is not really the issue. It's our thoughts about it, and our thoughts can be paralyzing when it comes to singing. One thing that you could think of when you hear these recordings is imagine that this is a friend's voice and this isn't your voice. And this just helps you detach a little bit and not make those recordings so emotionally heavy, which can be the case for some people. So when you think of it as a friend, this is what you want to think about. If this person is your friend, and let's say they sent you these recordings, your friendship, especially if it's a good friend, your friendship is going to be way more important to you than however that person sings or however experienced they are with that. And as a result, even if you have critical things about their singing, you're going to keep that in check, and you're going to see how you can be a good friend to that person. And this is what you can think of when you hear recordings of yourself. And sometimes as you go along in singing, sometimes you're going to hear recordings that you'll really like. And sometimes you're going to hear recordings that you won't like. And you'll have to find a way to have compassion for yourself. The first several months of my singing, I was mostly out of tune. But I had a blast. I had a lot of fun. And that was a foundation that made me driven to keep learning how to sing because I was really enjoying the process. So you don't have to be the best singer in the world to enjoy and learn how to sing. But all great singers have to enjoy singing. So keep that in mind. You don't have to be the best singer in the world to enjoy singing, but to be a great singer, you must enjoy singing first. Because when you enjoy singing, you feel happier. And when you feel happier, all the learning centers in your brain open up. And when those learning centers are working to their fullest potential, you're going to learn faster and better. And you're going to want to practice more, which of course I'm always for. So these are all really, really great things. So it's very important that you consider your enjoyment of singing #1 priority, and put that above any critical thoughts or whatever you might have about your own singing. So once you're ready, go ahead and take a listen to your recordings, and what you want to look for is if you were not singing in tune for all of those recordings. If that's the case, then this is officially a skill that you need to learn, and the rest of this series is really going to be focused on those who sang through all the recordings. And notice that if you mostly sang in tune for most of them but not others, then really there's other skills at play when you are dealing with those different circumstances, and so I will be addressing those different things on later videos or later articles. Don't forget to check out my next video where we're going to be covering the skills and exercises to learn how to sing in tune, and for future singing tips, make sure to subscribe. Lastly, for voice lessons either online or in my Austin, Texas studio, go to synergisticsinging.com/schedule a lesson. Thanks for watching.